Hey, it's time for another episode of Flavor and Fiction. If you're tuning in for the first time, Flavor and Fiction is a segment where I read a book from my 2024 reading challenge, and then I give you a short review and I make a recipe using an ingredient related to the book. So you get your flavor and your fiction. So this time, the category was a book set in an office, and I decided to go with Truth in Advertising, a novel by Kenney. And there was a ton of food mentioned in the book, but one that caught my eye was pumpkin pie because autumn starts in like 3 days officially. So I decided to make a pumpkin pie cheesecake. Now, I have never made a pumpkin anything. So this was a experiment for me. It's actually in the fridge right now. I made it last night. And I'm going to be taking it into work to let my coworkers try it. So you'll be able to see that at the end of this video. But first, let's get into the book. In a nutshell, this book is about a man named Finn who is just learning how lonely he is. He has buried himself in work for years. He works at an advertising agency, and his life has taken a backseat to his job. And the book starts out, to me, a little mundane because it goes into advertising way too much. And you start reading it and you're like, I don't care. What is this about? Just trust me. It all kind of ties in together. So stick with it. And the book is actually really good. So Finn, he's estranged from his family. He had a childhood incident, no spoiler, that kind of made him lose his mother and father. And he's estranged from all of his siblings. So he's cut off from them. He was engaged. And then 2 weeks before the wedding, he calls it off. So he made himself lonely in that way. Anytime he has a trip planned, he ends up canceling it for work for one reason or another. And so his whole life has just become his job. And he goes in, day out, just focusing on the mundane details to distract from how lonely he actually is. So the book is mainly about him coming to terms with how he feels about his life. So he grew up in Boston with kind of a tumultuous childhood. And the childhood chapters kind of integrate, they kind of zipper with his present day situation. The present day situation is that he gets a call from his brother to let him know that their father, who's in a nursing home, is in his last days and someone has to go and handle things. And they expect Finn to do it because Finn was like the one child that he did not abuse growing up. So having to deal now with his father makes him think about events in his childhood, and it makes him, he had buried these feelings and these memories for years. And now they're starting to creep back up, and he's finally starting to understand his present day self. Why he isolates, why he does certain things, why he buries himself in work. So he's starting to come to terms with it, and he's starting to come to terms with the fact that he no longer wants to be isolated. He has to make active choices in order to have a full life. So the book itself, and that's just the general overview of the book. There are some surprises in there, and the way, to me, that the author sneaks in things is really good. So you have to pay attention to this book. You can't just glaze over pages. You know, like I said, in the beginning for me, it was a little mundane with all the advertising jargon, but stick with it, read everything. It's worth it. Just my review. Okay, so now that we have talked about the book, I'm going to grab the pumpkin pie cheesecake and take it into work. And this is a picture, this is the picture of what it's supposed to look like when you cut into it. So I am so curious to see if this is what it actually looks like. So let's go. In a mixing bowl, you want to add your cream cheese and your sugar and the vanilla extract, and then beat until smooth. Then you want to add in 2 eggs, one at a time, and beat until smooth. Look at my beautiful standing mixer. And then when it looks like that, you want to add most of it into your pie crust and smooth it out. Then to the remaining mixture, you add the pumpkin puree and the pumpkin pie spice, and you just whisk that together. And when it looks like that, you put it on top, smooth it over, put it in the oven. Comes out looking like this. And then you want to let it sit for an hour and then put it in the fridge overnight if you can.
Can we cheer?
Could have gotten a real knife, I guess.
It's like when Kevin was filming himself at the gym and he wanted his cheerleaders.
Okay. This will be my piece, don't worry. I can't. Hey.
The graceful.
Maybe I need a spoon, yes. That's the spoon. Oh.
That's not a spoon.
Okay. That's about to break.
You're doing.
Gordon Ramsay has nothing on this.
Okay, you can splice this so it's all like one cohesive.
Okay, you know what? There we go. There we go.
That looks great.
How's that look? Don't worry, this is my piece.
Who cares about the appearance? It's all about the taste.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my first bite.
That face can mean a lot of things.
You know, I didn't think I would like the graham cracker, but they give it a nice little crunch. I love cheesecake, so that's already a plus.
What do you think about the pumpkin pie part?
It's different. No, but it's different in a good way, but it's a little bit overpowering, just a little bit. But
Okay.
it also adds a little something to the mix. It's a little tangy to me. I taste the egg.
Pumpkin
I taste the egg. The egg is good.
You taste the egg?
Oh,
okay.
sensational. Yes. I give this one more bite. Let me see. I got a grade. An 8.75.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
Thanks for joining me for another episode of Flavor and Fiction. Happy reading and happy eating. See you next time.